Goravani Charine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyade Satarine.
Jai. Ishar Prabhu, we're live, so we can begin.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, No Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Parabrajacharya Statara Satta Shri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Sharma Kunda Radha Kunda Girli Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Mathura Dham Ki Jai, Navadvip Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Talasti Devi Ki Jai, Yamuna Mai Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Shama Veta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Oh. So, wires. So we're talking today talking today about accepting Krishna's Prasadam. Yeah. There's so many stories we have about let's see. Yeah. Vajrapakata Vatsala Sri Gora Hari. This is the Bhoga Artik prayer of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur from his Gitavali. He wrote it at his home at Sarabi Kunj in Godramadweep in the Navadweep. He's describing some of the things. He says, just worship Sri Gora Hari, who is always affectionate towards his devotees. Lord Chaitanya is very affectionate towards us. And he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who sported in the cowherd. No, it's too cool, too close.
No, you need to be louder.
Who sported in the cowherd pastures of Braja and stole the hearts of Nanda and Jashoda. Now Mother Jashoda, she calls to Krishna. She says, my dear Damodar, it's very late. Please, you come right now, sit down in the dining hall and take your lunch. So, on the direction of Nanda Maharaj, Krishna, who's the lifter, the holder of Govardhan Hill, he sits down. And then, he's not alone. All of the cowherd boys, along with Krishna's elder brother Balaram, they sit down. They sit down in rows to take their lunch. Yes. And then there's served a feast. All kinds of nice preparations. Shukta, a variety of green leafy vegetables. Then very nice things that are fried. And a salad made of green leaves of the jute plant. And they're served pumpkin, baskets of fruits, and small square cakes that are made from lentils. And cooked down milk, very thick yogurt, squash cooked in milk, and vegetable preparations made from the flowers of the banana tree. Then they receive fried squares of mung dal patties, urd dal patties. They have chapatis and rice with ghee on the rice. And next they have sweets. Sweets made with milk, made with sugar, made with sesame, rice flour cakes, thick cooked milk, cooked down milk, cakes floating in milk, and sweet rice. They have cakes floating in milk, Krishna likes. And there's also sweet rice that tastes just like nectar because it's mixed with camphor. And there's bananas and cheese, which is nectarine and delicious. And they're also served 12 different kinds of sour preparations, 12 kinds, made with tamarind, made with limes and lemons, oranges and pomegranates. And there are puris made with white flour and sugar, and puris filled with cream. All these things are being offered to Krishna. And there are laddus and dal patties that are boiled in sugared rice. And Krishna eagerly eats all of the food. In great ecstasy and joy, Krishna eats the rice, the curried vegetables, the sweets, the pastries that are cooked by who? Cooked by Srimati Radharani. Krishna has one funny Brahmin friend called Madhu Mangal. And he's a Brahmana, but he's got a sense of humor. And he likes very much laddus. And he likes to get them one way or another. Says in the book, by hook or by crook. And when he eats the laddus, he shouts, "Hari Bol, Hari Bol," and he slaps his underarms, and he makes a noise by compressing the air. And then when Krishna is eating, he sees that Srimati Radharani, she's not very far away. Beholding Radharani and her gopi friends, out of the corners of his eyes, Krishna is eating at the house of Mother Jashoda, and he's very pleased, he's very satisfied, but while he's eating, he's looking to see Srimati Radharani, because she's been cooking in the house of Mother Jashoda for Krishna and his friends. So after lunch, Krishna drinks some water scented with rose, and then all the boys, they stand up in lines, one behind the other. They're going to rinse their mouth, and after all the cowherd boys wash their hands and their mouth, with great bliss, very happy, they're very happy, they all take rest with Lord Balaram. They all lie down. And the two cowherd boys, they called Jambula and Rasala, they bring Krishna some after food, like a little refreshment for the mouth. They can bring him what's called pan, which is made with betel nuts and fancy spices and katachu. And after chewing that pan, Krishna, he also goes to sleep. So when Krishna happily takes rest on the excellent bedstead, he has two servants, the Vishalaksha, his servant Vishalaksha, he fans Krishna with a fan while Krishna is falling asleep on his little bed. And while Krishna happily takes rest on an excellent, and then what happens? Mother Jashoda, she speaks to one of the gopis who is there, Dhanishta, and she asks Dhanisha, please you take these remnants that are left on Krishna's plate and you bring the remnants to Srimati Radharani. And Srimati Radharani, she receives them with great joy. And then Lalita Devi and the other gopis, then they receive the remnants, and within their hearts they sing the glories of Radha and Krishna with great joy. They're enjoying Radha and Krishna's remnants. And this way, Thakur Bhakti Vinod, whose one and only joy is the pastimes of Lord Hari. He sings this Bhoga Aratik song. So this is the mood. This is the mood of receiving Krishna's prasadam. It's a matter of consciousness. Of course, you know, Srila Prabhupada talks about this word official. It's officially observing the practices of Krishna consciousness. We do them because we're supposed to do them. There's one quote where Srila Prabhupada says, well, I've been told, he's imitating one of us, we've been told that it's our duty to do these things, chant Hare Krishna, chant our rounds, take prasadam, like that. And he said, all right, I'll do it. He said, no, not like that, he said. He said, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. Priti, he says, with love. And take these. So we should understand that when we are receiving, you know, we can do the prayers and yes, Srila Prabhupada, in one class, he says, the mantra is not so important. What is the right mantra for this and the right mantra for offering that? He said, the real mantra is to say, my dear Krishna, I'm very tiny and I don't have a lot of resources, but I've put these foodstuffs together for you. I know you don't need anything, but I'm just wanting to give something to you. Please accept. He said, this is the mantra. This is the real mantra. So this is a matter of attitude, which means this is consciousness. This is Krishna consciousness, that sometimes devotees are thinking, when I become realized, I'll have love for Krishna. When I become realized, then I'll have enthusiasm. When I have become realized, then I'll be joyful doing these offerings. But Srila Prabhupada says, when I become enthusiastic, then when I become joyful doing these things, and when I do them with love, then I'll become realized. So in other words, it's not a mechanical process by which we earn points. You just like in the material world. In the material world, everything is about you have to earn what you receive. You have to earn points. When you get enough points, then you're a winner. You get some reward. Krishna consciousness is not about collecting points. Krishna consciousness is about accepting that we can live on the spiritual platform right now. It's only a question, Srila Prabhupada says, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 72. One can be Krishna conscious in 1 second, or it can take millions of births. It's just a matter of understanding and accepting the fact, unquote. So, understanding we have. We all know the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. I'm not this body. I'm Krishna's eternal servant. My constitutional position is loving service to Radha and Krishna. So that's accepting means to begin to cultivate that consciousness, cultivate this consciousness, and that to be joyful in the present moment, because this is my real... Srila Prabhupada said, this consciousness is not, you may have heard, all of us have heard, Krishna consciousness is not an artificial imposition on the mind. It's our real consciousness. We simply have to accept it and embrace it. And to that extent, we're going to have to realize. How do we realize? Srila Prabhupada writes in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 34, the verse Tadvidi Pranipatena. He says that the blind following is condemned. That means not to just do, and think that maybe 1 year, 1 day, 1 year, 1 lifetime more, that when I have enough points, when I've accumulated, and then I will have this realization. But one should have realization now. Blind following means doing without experiencing the joy of Krishna consciousness. It's kind of, for a material mind, is very difficult to understand. The material mind cannot understand. But in Krishna consciousness, quote, the means and the goal are both the same thing. The goal is love of Krishna. The means is love of Krishna. It means that we begin on the spiritual platform and we practice this consciousness. And the more we practice this consciousness, the more it expands. Because it's our real consciousness. It's now in a dormant state. It's not something Srila Prabhupada stresses. Again, it's not something that's going to be added to us. It's something that we have, but it's sleeping. And you wake it up. How you wake it up? You wake it up by being Krishna conscious. So the goal is this love of Krishna, or a joyful service of Radha and Krishna. And the means is to engage. So if we engage in that way, we find to our amazement, oh, this feels so nice. I want more. I aspire to remember to live on this platform. Now I'm a neophyte devotee, so I'm distracted by so many other things. I become fruitive in my activities. I'm concerned success and failure, victory and defeat, honor and dishonor, so many things, because we've been like this for millions of births. So we have, it's a habit, so we cultivate a new kind of consciousness. It's only a matter of understanding and accepting. Srila Prabhupada says, I was just reading this morning. It's only a matter to become Krishna conscious. One can be Krishna conscious in a second to accept this consciousness. Utsahan, with enthusiasm. With enthusiasm and faith, confidence, Srila Prabhupada writes in Nectar of Instruction. Confidence means that I'm trying very nicely to serve Krishna, and I'm confident that Krishna knows, and he's going to help me to bring this consciousness more and more into focus in my heart. So, and we have one other prayer that we used to take when taking prasadam, he says, Sharira Vidyajal Jotendriya Tahekal Jibe Fele Vishaya Sagare Tar Madhye Jiva Mata Jiva Mati Loba Moisa Durmati Take Jeta Kote Natsam Sare. I remember when we used to live in Mayapur, and that all the devotees would sing together. And the translation, you're all familiar, I'm thinking, "O Lord, this material body is a place of ignorance, a lump of ignorance. Material, dead matter. But right now my consciousness is absorbed in this mind and senses, and causing me to think that I am this body. But it's not. Actually, we got it from Mother Nature. It's going back. But we're eternal. So that this material body is a place of ignorance, and the senses, they're a network of paths leading to death. We're always serving. We're either serving Krishna or we're serving our senses. Of course, this material nature, these senses, Krishna has supplied these senses. He's called Rishikesh. They're his senses. They all belong to Krishna because he's the proprietor of everything. So my senses should be used in Krishna's service. But right now, I'm trying to enjoy my senses. I'm trying to exploit my senses to give me happiness. But the senses, they can't love me back. I'm very devoted to them. Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita that this inclination to satisfy my senses like a little fire. And the more that I try to satisfy my senses, the fire is not satisfied. The flames get bigger. So Krishna says, he calls it kama, lust. He says this kama is the all-devouring, sinful enemy of the world. It just makes everyone crazy. And nobody has enough. Everyone needs more. It doesn't matter whether it's money, whether it's food, whether it's men, whether it's women, whether it's cars, houses, clothes, to decoration of a dead body. It's never enough. Because the intelligence, Krishna explains that when the spirit soul, it's in the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, when the spirit soul comes into the material world and is in touch with the mode of passion, his eternal love for Krishna, is transformed into lust. That means that when we come into the material world, our eternal love for Krishna is still in our heart. It's not something that has to be added to us. It's something that has to be purified. That love for Krishna, when it is projected through the modes of material nature. So Krishna, it takes on a different form. It's the same love, just like a pure white light going through a red lens will come out red. It's the same light, but it's taking on a different shade. So in the same way, when our love it comes in touch with the modes of passion. This, Srila Prabhupada explains, Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita chapter, that the senses, the mind, and the intelligence are all affected by this orientation. Intelligence, the business of the mind is to accept and reject, and the business of the intelligence is what is my orientation. And when the influence of the mode of passion is that the intelligence gets this strong conviction that if I please my senses, I'm going to be satisfied. And we go for it. We've been working on it for millions of births. So following this path, where does it take us? It takes us only to death. Until the body is no more, then we have to give it up. So he says, Sharira Vidyajam. He says, this material body is a lump of ignorance, and the senses, a network of paths leading me only to death. Somehow we have fallen in this ocean of material sense enjoyment, and of all the senses, this tongue is the most voracious and uncontrollable. It's very difficult to conquer the tongue. In this world, people are on diets. I go into Walmart to go shopping, and people are not pushing their cart. They're driving around in carts because they're so large they can't hardly walk anymore, but they're still trying to serve the senses. So in America, it's supposed to be the most wonderful country, has more obesity than any country in the world. People can't even walk to do their shopping. So they need automated carts, and this is considered progress, of course. So this tongue is the most difficult in this world to control. But you, dear Krishna, are very kind to us. You have given us such nice prasada just to conquer over this tongue, to control the tongue. Now, will let us take this prasada to our full satisfaction. And glorify their lordship, Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. And in love, we call for the help of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. So what does that mean? In love, we call for the help of Lord Chaitanya. What kind of help? We have to, if we read our books, we'll understand in what spirit Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda are taking Krishna's prasadam. In what spirit they're rejoicing in their receiving this. What is this? This food stuff has been offered to Krishna, Radha and Krishna. It's explained and it's described that sometimes Srimati Radharani is taking something, some sweet or pakora, putting in Krishna's mouth. And Krishna sometimes is taking and putting in the mouth of Srimati Radharani. And even not only that, but Srimati Radharani, after Krishna is eating, she's joyful to receive Krishna's remnants. And then when after she has received, then her remnants are going to her close associates, and they're taking it with the absolute greatest relish. They're so This is the mood of taking prasadam. This is the consciousness of taking prasadam. And this is the consciousness in which Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda are receiving Krishna's prasadam. Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself, but he's taking the role of a devotee for teaching us. He says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, first Adi Lila, Krishna says, I'm going to go into the material world and I'm going to teach this Krishna consciousness by practicing it myself. I'll be a devotee and I'll show what is the mood. That's how I'll teach Krishna consciousness. So we say, with feelings of love, preme dako Chaitanya Nitai. With love, we call on the help of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda to help us to understand what is the mood in which we can take Krishna Prasadam. So it's not so much that, if you go to a factory or something, the food goes through a certain process. It's cooked on this and is moving along on the treadmill. It goes to this, then it gets packaged, wrapped, and then it goes into boxes and goes to the stores, stages like that, and then people are purchasing. So it is not, when we say our prayers and offer to Radha and Krishna, it's not just that now it has gone through this stage, now it has gone through this stage, now, okay, now let's take prasadam and finished. No, it's a devotional activity. So receiving, enjoying Krishna's prasadam is not something of the material senses. It's the consciousness which changes our senses into spiritual senses and enables us to understand how wonderful it is that while we're in the material world, actually we're in the spiritual world, because the material world is contained within the spiritual world. We're always in the spiritual world, but we have to practice this consciousness, then we begin to understand. A pure devotee, he doesn't even want to go to anywhere else. He doesn't even ask to go to Krishna Loka. He doesn't mind if Krishna sends him anywhere. He just wants this consciousness. And that consciousness puts him in the spiritual world. So calling on the help of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. Why do I talk about these things? Is it because I'm living this way? No. I talk about these things because of what I have to hear. I'm talking about the things that I have to learn to practice, that I have to do, cultivate this Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is not a matter of being a member of a church, being a member of an organization. These things can be helpful. But the real thing is the consciousness that we're cultivating. So when we're taking prasadam, we're thinking, what are we taking into we're taking into ourselves the love that is shared between Radha and Krishna. That's what we're consuming. And then we become devotees in that way. Krishna consciousness, so Srila Prabhupada keeps saying that one can do this in 1 second, or it can take millions of births. And it's all completely up to us. So this is, yes, to show you, there was the different Goswamis, different Goswamis. Bande Rupa Sanatano Raguyago Sri Jiva Gopalako. Yeah, they were in the mood of the gopis, the 6 Goswamis, and they were in Vrindavan. Hey Radhe Brajadevi Kechal Hey Lalite Hey Nanda Shunokuta. Everywhere they were looking for Krishna. Oh, my dear Srimati Radharani, hey Radhe, Brajadevi Kecha, Cha Lalite, and Lalita, Srimati Radharani's closest associate. Where are you now? Where are you all now? Are you just on the Govardhan hill? Are you on the banks of the Yamuna? Where are you? So this was their mood. So, but they were absorbed in the mood of the gopis feeling separation from Krishna, from Radha and Krishna. So he says, so Srila Prabhupada writes in chapter 34 of the Krishna book, the gopis' feelings of separation from Krishna. It says that the 6 Goswamis, they were always feeling this mood of wanting, where is Radha and Krishna? You know what it says? It's in the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. We know that Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Sanatana Goswami, they're not principal associates of Srimati Radharani. There are 8 principal Lalita, Vishaka, like that. But there are other gopis who are younger. And they're called Manjaris. And they're younger girls. And when Radha and Krishna are in intimate ways, in a special arrangement within the forest of Vrindavan, the Manjaris, they are allowed to be with Radha and Krishna, and the other gopis, they can't go. And they're serving Radha and Krishna in different ways. Rupa Manjari. So, it says that when Radha and Krishna are together, actually we don't talk about these things, Srila Prabhupada says in general, but I'm thinking that mostly we're talking to devotees, that no one can estimate, we can't imagine the joy, the bliss, the spiritual ecstasy of Radha and Krishna combined. We can't imagine. But it says that when these Manjaris who are doing little service to Radha and Krishna, when they see that Radha and Krishna are happy together, their spiritual ecstasy is greater than Radha and Krishna. This is what Krishna consciousness can be like. That Krishna, Radha and Krishna, they're always filled with spiritual ecstasy in each other's association. But when the intimate associates of Krishna see that they are happy, Radha and Krishna, their happiness exceeds that of Radha and Krishna because they're feeling like that. So much love. And they enjoy the happiness of Radha. This is Krishna consciousness, that our pleasure is based on Krishna's pleasure. And the more we desire Krishna's pleasure, the more we become fulfilled in our heart. And because we're part and parcel of Krishna. Just like the hand, if it wants, it needs vitamins, it needs electrolytes, it needs everything that we consume. But it's the only way, the constitutional relationship of the part to the whole body, that the hand can't enjoy the food and become healthy. But as soon as it feeds the whole body, it gets energy. So we're part and parcel of Krishna. We're God, we're Krishna. But we're not the big Krishna. We're infinitesimal spirit souls, part and parcel of Krishna, and Krishna's eternal servants, like that part of the hand. The hand is a servant of the body. So giving food stuff. So what does Krishna want from us? Krishna doesn't need anything. Om Purnamada Purna. Krishna is perfect and complete. Krishna wants our love. That's all. So we do so many services. Srila Prabhupada writes in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 2, in the purport, a very beautiful sentence that I think about sometimes when I'm remembering what my real business is. He says, Krishna, this is word for word, Krishna accepts only the love with which things are offered to him. Krishna accepts only the love with which things are offered to him. So when we're offering to Krishna, so Krishna wants our love. And when we love Krishna, we become satisfied. Everything we do in life is an attempt to get satisfaction. Everything, from morning till night, from the time we wake up to the time we go to sleep, everything we do is because we're seeking satisfaction, materialist or spiritual. Everybody. Working so hard. Why does a person go to school for how many years? 11, 12 years of public school, and then university, another 4, and then postgraduate work. So what is that? Grade 11, and then 4 more, 20, maybe 25, 30 years going to... Why? They can be materially happy. He can get a good job. He can make lots of money. He can become an entrepreneur. He can... what can he do? Then he can have a beautiful, make a good wife, a good husband. He can have a beautiful car. He can have a beautiful house. He can have a prestigious positions. Everything we're doing, working for satisfaction. But because we're not part of this material world, we give all our love to this material world, serving the senses, serving the boss, the owner, get a job, serving. But the material nature is dead matter, can't reciprocate with us. But because we're part and parcel of Krishna, like the leaves on the tree, watering the root, they receive the water. When the leaves on the tree water the root of the... So when we're loving, and the real juice that Krishna wants is our love, and when we give our love to Krishna, we receive that love in return. It's a reciprocation. It's instant. It's in the moment. As soon as we have that is the difference between being a blind follower and going through the motions and receiving reciprocation. That's called realization. Oh, I like this, feels so nice. When will I learn, have the intelligence to live on this platform? When we start to enjoy being a devotee, then we say, when will that day be mine? When I'll live this way, always without forgetting, without being distracted. So we call on the help of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda because they're always in this mood, always. And they want to share this mood with us. And they're always joyful. We look at Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda on the altar. They're not standing. They're rejoicing. They're dancing in ecstasy. They love being Krishna conscious. They love glorifying Radha and Krishna. They love taking Krishna's prasadam. See? So we have to adopt their mood. So we call on their help. Just like Krishna Das Kaviraj doing the same thing. He's writing Chaitanya Charitamrita at the end of every chapter. Every chapter. He says, praying, he has spiritual masters, are Rupa and Raghunath Das Goswami. He says, praying at the lotus feet of Rupa and Raghunath, always desiring their mercy. What is that mercy? The mercy is the ability to feel their devotional mood. He says, so I'm writing this book, Chaitanya, but I'm trying to follow in their footsteps. What is that? They say Prabhupada Anuga. Srila Prabhupada writes in the Nectar of Instruction that one should not see the real Acharya from outside. Try to understand his devotional mood, what's inside his heart. That's Anuga, following in the footsteps. That's Prabhupada Anuga. So Krishna Das Kaviraj saying, I'm trying to do this service, following their footsteps, but I'm praying at their lotus feet that I can be able to understand their devotional mood. He said, ha ha Prabhu kora doya, deho more pada choya. We sing every morning. The devotees sing, O Master, be merciful unto me. Give me the shade of your lotus feet. It's that mood that gives us the shade. It's that mood of devotion that protects us from the fire of Maya. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. So that's what we say. So we call on the help of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, and they're saying, just follow us. Just like we were worshipping Tulsi. And he said, what is the last line? And now let us swim in the love of Sri Sri Radha and Govinda. It's a great ocean of nectar, this devotional service. Let's swim in the love of Sri Sri Radha and Govinda. So we have to jump in. Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda say, everyone jump into the pool. This great pool of love of Krishna. Take. We're giving free. Take. So then our Krishna consciousness means all we have to do is accept. We should not think that is a point system. We cannot earn Krishna consciousness. We have to accept it. We've been talking in another class that the other processes of spiritual life are so difficult. Karma yoga, the rules. You make one mistake, penalized. Jnana yoga, bahunam janmanam ante, Krishna says, after thousands of births. Maybe they'll come to the point where they'll start to do bhakti. After thousands of births. Ashtanga yoga, trying to discriminate by meditation. Yam, niyam, do this, don't do this, do's and don'ts, moral principles, pranayam, asan, twisting the body in so many ways, then pranayam, all for arranging the subtle airs within the body so that we can begin to meditate, go in and deeper, then different stages of meditation, that I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this, 25 material elements, and then to understand that I'm spirit. Who can do like that? Nobody can do like that today. So, and then bhakti begins. So, if these difficult processes to come to the point of bhakti, and Lord Chaitanya says, here it is, take it. It's free. Jump into the pool. Swim in the love of Sri Sri Radha and Govinda. It's only a question of understanding and accepting. If we're thinking that we got to earn it, it's a misconception of the process. The means and the goal are one and the same. The goal is love of Krishna. The means is love of Krishna. The more we practice it, it's dormant within us. It's not to be added to us. It's to be awakened up in us. It gets awakened by doing. We become lovers of Krishna by loving Krishna. We become lovers of Srila Prabhupada by loving Srila Prabhupada. When we cultivate love of Srila Prabhupada, that's when it all begins. That's when Srila Prabhupada shares his joy of Krishna consciousness with us. That's how we learn. That's why we say the lotus feet of our spiritual master is the only way by which we can gain this. He said, prema bhakti ahoite avidya vinashayate prema bhakti aha. From him, this love of Krishna, it emanates. Jagat Guru, he can, to the whole universe, freely take this love of Krishna. And if we can catch it, avidya vinashayate, our ignorance is destroyed. That's how our ignorance is destroyed, by agreeing to take it, to accept it. But we have to first become close to Srila Prabhupada. That's why he's here. He's here to distribute Lord Chaitanya's mercy. He says, take, it's free. If it's so free, why did he say where we pray that Lord Chaitanya is giving freely what no incarnation has ever offered before? So why, how come, if it's so free and easy, why I don't have it? So we have to accept it. We have to accept it. It's faith. So this process, this Krishna consciousness is so wonderful and so nice. And Srila Prabhupada once said, I was in his room, so he said, you have seen this, he said, you have seen this, injecting the drugs into the arm, you have seen this? And I said, yeah, I had seen that in the subway. He said, Krishna consciousness is like that. You keep taking, you'll become addicted, and then you'll become mad after this Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna, thank you very much for letting me talk to you a little bit. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Jai, Hare Krishna. Understanding and accepting. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada gives these examples that are right there in his books. But like you have said, it's very, people just glide over it and they think it's a quantitative process instead of a conscious process, like you keep working at it.
I contemplate this. I contemplate this anomaly because in the material world, everything has to be earned, or you work very hard to get something. You work all week, you get a paycheck, or all month. You work very hard, you study very hard, you pass an exam, you get a certificate. Srila Prabhupada says there's no certificate in Krishna consciousness. You know. No one has to give you a certificate. You know when it feels wonderful within yourself. You don't need anybody's certificate. So, but because I'm thinking maybe because the whole material world works in terms of earning something, qualifying for something, that then it will be bestowed upon us when we are deserving something. We have to deserve something. But it's a misunderstanding only. So the same words can be read in our book. Yasya Prasada Bhagavat Prasada. By the mercy of the spiritual master, one is benedicted by the mercy of Krishna. Without the grace of the spiritual master, no one can make any advancement. Therefore, I should always remember my spiritual master. But it doesn't mean that we have to earn something. It means we have to take it right now. It means that the person who just got his Bhagavad Gita the first time this morning can be more advanced than me. I've been practicing, who cares? But it's been a while. So, but it has not. There's no seniority. It's not a caste system. There's no seniority. There's no senior devotees. There's only one senior devotee, Srila Prabhupada, and the rest of us babies. But Srila Prabhupada, he can share. If we can come close to Srila Prabhupada, we can feel his love for Krishna. And that Srila Prabhupada, I keep always saying this in 1.5.25 of Bhagavatam. Pure devotion is as much infectious, in a good sense, like an infectious disease. Infection of the qualities of the pure devotee means to imbibe the taste of devotion in his association. Just by associating intimately with Srila Prabhupada, we can feel his love for Krishna, and that's to imbibe. He says, infection of the qualities of the pure means to imbibe the taste. To get the taste from him, prema bhakti, from him this Krishna prem emanates. And if we can get it, so before we can feel Srila Prabhupada's presence, that's all we have to do, is feel Srila Prabhupada's presence, to learn what love of Krishna. But to open that door, we have to approach Srila Prabhupada with a joyful, loving heart. Immediately we can feel his presence. So, the means and the goal are different. Love is the mean, I always say, you're an entrepreneur, the goal of going into business to make money. You need money to make money. You need startup capital. Where the goal is love of Krishna. We have to approach Krishna as pure devotee with love in our heart. He shares his love of Krishna with us. That's why the lotus feet of the spiritual master is the only way by which we can get this love of Krishna. This is the science of Krishna consciousness. I talk too much. Hare Krishna.
So Srila Prabhupada giving this rules and regulation processes of devotional service is to purify that individual soul and then to develop this simultaneously loving service towards the spiritual master.
The activities are the means
Yes.
through which we cultivate this loving feeling. But
Yes.
the activities themselves are not sufficient to elicit those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
It's the consciousness with which we engage in those feelings.
Sure.
I have one quote where Srila Prabhupada says that these processes are so powerful that even if one does them mechanically, just like a robot, there will be a mitigation of the unwanted discomforts of material consciousness. Just by doing them mechanically, that one will feel relief, blissful in that way. But he says, but in that way, by doing all these things you're talking about, you know, the rising early, taking shower, Mongol Arti, chanting 16 rounds, attending the class, taking prasadam, distributing book. All these things will make a person, but he says, but it will not serve to awaken our dormant love of Krishna, and I have it in writing. It will make us feel relief, but to develop love of. So all of these activities are purifying, like you said, but what purifying to bring us to the point where we can begin to understand the science of how we become a real devotee. And that is by having an intimate relationship with Krishna's pure devotee who can share his love of Krishna with us. So all of that, so that one can do that for millions of births, Srila Prabhupada says. Or one can do it in 1 second. So the 1 second process is to have an intimate relationship with Krishna's pure devotee. That's how Narada Muni tells his story. He used to, the sages were there during the rainy season. His mother was a serving maid, Sudra lady, Sudrani. And he was serving the devotees. He got the taste from them. He became Narada Muni. Okay. So that's why it's a one moment's association with a pure devotee. One can go back home, back to Godhead. 1 moment. Because if one can really feel Srila Prabhupada's mood, Srila Prabhupada's presence, Srila Prabhupada's feelings for Krishna, just a little bit, it's like a seed in the heart. By going back to that feeling every day in our sadhana and surcharging. Don't do this sadhana alone. Do it under the direction, under the guidance of the pure devotee, to engage in those activities like you're describing, in the association of someone who really has the feeling. And that's how we get the feeling, because we're doing it under his guidance. We read all these things. It's in the books. It's in every talk. And so we have to learn what is being said. Hey, he lives forever by his divine instruction. and the follower lives with him, people are thinking, well, I'm following the instruction, so I'm with Srila. But these are his instructions. To always be in the association of the pure devotee, to feel from him this love of Krishna emanates, and if we catch it, our ignorance is destroyed. It's as infectious, in a good sense, like an infectious disease. We have to catch it. We have to, and that is the seed of devotion that he putting in our heart is to feel him. And he said, I have quotes written from the books, that one who has love for the pure devotee, I have it. I can send it to anybody who wants. I don't have the number in my head. One who has actual love for the pure. All the esoteric, all the inner feelings, everything will be revealed to such a person. When we have love for Srila Prabhupada, he shares his love of Krishna with us. So they don't have to earn anything. We just have to be submissive enough. Submissive to his presence, submissive to his energy, so that we can drink it. And then we do all those practices, not by doing all those practices and getting good report card that I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. I did the whole checklist, and I did it for 10 years, 10 lives. That one day, I always make the sarcasm, one day the bolt of lightning is going to come from Krishna Loka, and I'll have love of Krishna. It's not like that. It's that from him this Krishna Prem emanates. O Master, be merciful unto me. Bhakti Vinod Thakur writes, I offer you all respect, my spiritual master, for thus I may have the ability to understand you correctly. Then I can chant the holy name with nice feeling, and then all my what offenses will cease. I have to catch it from someone who has it. And this is the science. It's not a mechanical thing. Oh, I talk too much, too long. Forgive me.
Okay, thank you, Ishan Prabhu. Mother Achisa for joining. If she has a comment or question, please, you can email him, or you can say it here if you like.
You have snow now in Montreal? Here.
Minus 25 today.
Minus 25. Whoa.
There is snow all over.
Very cool.
Very nice meeting. I enjoyed every word.
Can only talk this way with the devotees who are agreeing to hear these things. I can't do it otherwise. And that's
I'm taking shelter of Chaitanya Bhagavata.
Yes.
Madhya Lila, Madhya Kanda, chapter 5. It keeps me until I find something else. I want devotees association. It is so important.
We need each other, all of us, because when we discuss it, it becomes more powerful.
Yes, it is.
That's part of the science.
Mm.
Hare Krishna.
Right. Okay, thank you, Ishan Prabhu, Mother Achisa for joining. We'll continue this program next week, same time. This would be the link, Mother Achisa. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.